What's up everybody, it's Firemace here and welcome back to another video. And as you can see, we are in the character create screen of Scum. And yeah, so this episode was supposed to be about, basis, my thoughts on basis, what is a good idea for basis, what's bad idea for basis, why I don't think you should claim doors and put locks in them. Although, even though they fixed the bit where you can now actually put bronze locks into doors without having to pay fame for it, I still don't think it's worth the cost. I think it's too easy to lockpick, but let's not get sidetracked. The reason why we're not on the map looking at this is because I've learned some more information about your character and how it works, and this information impacted basically how I see a build should go. Now, and so I decided that I was gonna remake my character creation to reflect that. Alright, so as we said before, Scum is a game that is in early access, and that there will be a lot of changes, upcoming, and things that we discuss now might not be the same a month from now or a week from now, or even tomorrow possibly. But currently this is how things work. So I've learned a lot more about the attribute values, and I think that's the first thing that I want to cover. Okay, so strength is, like I said, quite obvious as well. It's something that we spoke about. Strength will directly impact how strong your character is. I mean, how much muscle mass do you really have? The more muscle mass you have, the stronger your character will be. It will impact things like your melee combat, your rifling skills, your handgun skills, your melee weapons. You'll be able to hit harder, do more damage than a character that has lower strength. It also directly impacts how much your character can carry in game before the weight starts to impact your fatigue level negatively. So if you want a short distance sprinter, I mean, strength is probably what you want to focus on. Alright. Then if we look at constitution, constitution will directly impact your character's endurance. Thus it will impact your character's running. Character with high constitution basically gives you a marathon runner. Your stamina will last a lot longer. Because your character will be able to endure the things much better under stress. Also, another thing your constitution affects is how food impacts your character. So better constitution means your character can get more value out of what he eats. Another thing that constitution impacts is how much health points your character has, which is something that I did mention in the last video. And also, it basically dictates how tough you are, if you will. How will situations and stuff impact you in the game, like the weather impact on you. If you fall from a great height, you'll take a little bit less damage. If you get shot, you'll be able to handle and deal with these things much better. Getting stabbed, getting punched. Your constitution will impact how much your character, I'm looking for the right way to phrase this. Basically, how your body will endure these difficulties that are placed upon it. Your constitution has a direct impact on that. Dexterity, like I said before, is short, quick muscle movement, which obviously on the front side of it, impacts your stealth capability. It impacts your lockpicking capability, but it impacts so much more than that. And arguably, after a lot of discussion and a lot of research and talking with some of the people that I play with on the server that are really good players, dexterity, I find, is probably one of the most important aspects if you're looking at PvP. It impacts that how quickly your character changes stances from a neutral stance to a combat ready stance to aiming down sights. It dictates how quickly your character can reload his weapon. So the whole action of taking the magazine out of the gun and putting the magazine back into the gun all of this is impacted by your dexterity. Your character is able to react quicker to situations, or well, you will be able to react quicker to situations because your character will perform these actions faster. And then intellect, basically, like I said, it impacts how much your character can learn and game. The last time I made a video, I said you shouldn't have a stat below 3. I now believe that you should not have a stat below 3.5. 3.5, I believe, is the minimum value you require in a stat to have advanced, well, to be able to level a skill to advanced. So with that all being said, you can now leave your character at the age of 20, or you can switch it to the age of 30. It's all up to you. But I do believe that you should no longer take your character to 40 and 50, just because, well, age also impacts how your character will perform, obviously. So for the sake of the video, I'm going to leave it on the age of 20. What I'm going to do though is, once again, we make our penis size as small as it can possibly go. I'm going to take 1 point out of my intellect so that I have 3.5 intellect. I'm going to take 1 point out of my dexterity, so I have 4. And you are then going to add these points to your constitution and to your strength. So you will have 4 strength, 4 constitution, 4 dexterity, and 3.5 intellect. And this, I believe, is going to be the best stat or attribute value distribution that you can go for now currently in the character creation screen. The main thing that I learned that made me change my mind, as well, the main 2 things that I learned that made me change my mind to this build from what I had previously, is basically the fact that I realized how important dexterity is for your character. And now I also want to point out that I did focus on a build where I had 3 strength, 5 dexterity, and 4 point something constitution, and 3.1 intellect. I did try it out, I did play with it a little bit. It didn't feel too bad, except for the strength being kind of low. It did impact my rifling skill somewhat, so I wasn't too happy with how my character performed. So this is basically what I then decided is going to be nice and balanced, and I got this build also from another guy that plays with us, that basically runs this build, and he's been playing since release. So he's had a lot of time testing this out. So, and then if we go to next, I do still feel that how you distribute your skills in each tree is purely based on what you really want to do. But I can show you what I did on my character that I currently play on the map with. Basically, I went rifles full, and then I gave myself all the rest of my points into handguns. I made my endurance full, and I made my running as high as I could possibly get it. I then made my stealth full, and I gave my thievery as high as I could get it. I then went my camouflage to medium, and my awareness to medium, and I then put 1 point into sniping like this. In my last video, I did say that I don't value awareness at all. So what I did find out is that awareness, apart from detecting things on the floor, making them shine blue when you hold your right click button down, awareness does actually impact how far away your character can detect another character. So it does impact your view range and stuff like that. That's why I now put my awareness on medium. Unfortunately, you still cannot level awareness on the multiplayer map, which is really sad, but it is unfortunately the way it is. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing we can currently do about it. We have to hope that it gets fixed somewhere in the future. Alright. And now, real quick, I'm going to jump onto the map. I'm going to bring you guys back as soon as I load in, because there's just one more thing that I would really like to show you guys with this build, and the reason why we went with 4 strength, 4 constitution, 4 dexterity, and 3.5 intellect. Alright, so I'll see you guys on the map soon. Alright, welcome back. So we've loaded onto the map, and now it's all about, real quick, why we chose the stats that we did choose. Alright, and like I said, it's all about what we can do. Scum is a game that is supposed to be very realistic. It's and it is going to be extremely realistic when it's eventually finished. And just in like in real life, your character will change depending on what you do with your character, what you eat, how much exercise you get, etc., etc. Now, you'll see that I am on the metabolism screen. You'll see that we still have 4 strength, we still have 4 constitution, dexterity, and our intellect. So those are the stats that we chose. Alright, that's how we allocated our attribute values. Alright, so the plan that you're going to follow once you spawn into the map is, now, like I said, Scum is a survival game. It rewards people that don't die. And this build is based on the fact that you will be rewarded the longer you survive. We want to, you can gain constitution and dexterity on the map in game. Alright, and you can do this by basically just losing weight. So we allocated a bunch of stats to our character, and those stats will be our base stats. Every time that we die, our character will reset to those attribute values. The first step that you want to do is this: you want to get your vitamins and minerals up to a decent level, along with your water and your sugars and blah blah. Well, not so much your sugar, but definitely your water. Alright, and your proteins. You want to get this all up nice and high, your fats and your saturated fats. So you want to follow a nice, balanced, healthy diet, just like I spoke about in our video that we had that spoke about metabolism. Alright, once you have these values nice and green and you're happy with your character, he's got good vitamins, good minerals, basically what you're going to do is you're going to let your calorie balance drop to below 2,500-ish. And you're going to keep it to below minus 2,500 and minus 3,000 calories. You're going to keep your character in that general vicinity. And what's going to happen is your character is going to start burning storage fat. So you're going to start losing body fat percentage. Your aim at your body fat percentage is to get it below 5%. Alright? Or below, at least your storage fat below 1 kg. And you're going to do this by basically running a negative calorie balance until you reach your desired weight. Also, while you're in that value, basically what you're going to be eating is meat. You're going to have to eat a lot of protein because you don't want to lose strength. You want to keep your strength value nice and solid at 4, but you do want to lose a lot of weight. And the more weight you lose, the more constitution and dexterity you are going to gain. And eventually you are going to hit a sweet spot. And the stats that you're going to be ending up with is going to be 4 strength, 4.75 constitution, 5 dexterity, and 3.5 intellect. Alright, once you hit this golden zone, basically what you're going to do is you're going to eat a lot of meat. Keep your proteins up always. You need to keep your proteins up to keep your strength stable at 4. And then you're going to try and keep your BFP at that sweet marker. So I believe it's below 5%. So you're going to keep it there. Around 500 grams of storage fat is what you're going to have on your body. If you reach a kg, you're going to start your diet again, if you will, where you run a negative calorie balance so that you can get back to that golden 500 gram storage fat. And then, yeah, you're going to have a character that is extremely good at player versus player combat. You're going to be extremely tanky. You're going to have a lot of HP. You're going to have a lot of endurance. You're going to have a lot of resistance to damage. And hopefully the person that you're fighting will die first. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, guys. Test it out with me if you want to. I am currently running this build on the server that I'm playing on. So let's see how it goes. And let's see if this works out for all of us. So if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like on it. If you're new and you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe. And share the video with your friends and your family. And I'll see you all in my next video. Cheers!